Welcome back to DOT University. I'm Ryan, the DOT guy. Today I'm bringing you a super important pro tip. This is the air mile radius, how to calculate this, the AMR, the air mile radius, how to put it on the map so that you can easily print them out, station them, put them up around your office for your drivers so that they know, do some internal training on it. Now, knowing your air mile radius is super important, especially if you're claiming one of the exceptions, because if you cross that boundary, then that means that the exception is done and over. So some of the biggest ones that we have, the biggest would be probably for the short haul operations, which we all know if you watched that video on September 29th, they moved the CDL short haul up to 150, where it had always been 100 air mile radiuses previously. So that's probably one of the biggest ones. The other ones that we have, transportation of construction materials, usually about paving operations, they have a 75 air mile radius. Now, some states could limit that within their states, so generally it could fluctuate between 50 and 75. So if you're claiming that one, make sure that you know what your state requirements are. Agricultural operations, they have 150, and that's going to be, if you're transporting ag products and machinery, that type of thing, or if you're the farmer. And then, of course, your motion picture studios. If you're doing transportation to and from motion picture sites, there's an hours of service exemption in there for the 100 air mile radius area. Now, there's some other things where it kind of kicks into, such as driver qualifications for farmers. They have 150 air mile radius, whereas CDL, they have 150, but it's worded differently. Into the CDL exception for farmers, it says that it's 150 miles from the farmer's farm. They don't word it as a radius, so we wouldn't necessarily want to use the actual radius for that. Now, knowing how to do these radiuses is super important because you can impress your insurance reps when you're going through your insurance renewal. You can show them that, hey, we've gone this far. We can show our drivers, where these boundaries are. Or if you're going through a DOT audit, especially one surrounding hours of service, to have that radius printed up so that you can show that, hey, we know what we're doing. So this is a really great tip for y'all to go through and use. Now, what I'm going to introduce you to is a little website called Map Developers, where you can draw a radius on a map. And you can see a little example that I have here. I went through around the United States there, and I just kind of put, if you were to have some central hubs or terminals at any of these locations, you can print up these maps and put the radius there. And then you can, of course, zoom in so you do not have to see it so far out, and you can see where the actual boundaries fly. So let me go ahead and show that to you right now on the website and show you how to build and print these maps. Okay, so here's the website. It's Map Developers. I will include the link below in the comments so you can go through and find this and go through and use it. This is a really super great tool. Again, I know I already said that, but I'm super excited about it. We used to always go through and use Microsoft Streets and Chips. That was a really great tool for drawing these. It was really crisp and clean. And then they don't support that software anymore. So we had to find another way. Google Maps, you can go through on Google Maps and you can measure distance, which is always helpful. But getting this drawn into an actual radius so you can print it up is a lot more powerful, especially when training your team. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to type in a location. I'm just going to put Greeley, Colorado. So we got Greeley, Colorado, and I'm going to start off. I'm going to put in 150 air mile radius. So when I hit enter on that, after I typed in Greeley and then 100, I typed in 150. Now you can change this, of course, to feet, meters, so on else. Well, here in the United States, we run everything off of miles, so I'll leave it there. And then come down into here, and what you have to do is you just have to come down, with your little hand right here, find where you want to drop that map, and then boom, just click on that, and notice how everything got shaded. Now, what that did is if I kind of zoom out of this, I'm just going to go down and click on the zoom out button. You can see that it drew that radius there for me. Now, I can go through here, click on this screen right here. We can make this a little bit bigger, and then, of course, I can zoom in on it so that it's, we can see where those boundaries are, where the highways are, and that type of thing. Now, one of the things that we've got going on with this is this shading area, and then we've got, of course, the line boundary. Now, you can go through, it will allow you to go through and customize that. If you back out of it by just hitting escape, you can come up in this area and you can change the internal shading to any of the colors. You can pick that. You can also go through and change your border area. Let's say we want to change that to blue, and maybe you don't want to do the shading that's in there. Just click this little box right here, only show the border. Okay, now I'm going to come back down here. I've already got this map, this circle highlighted. I'm going to remove that circle, click there, and then I'm going to do a new circle. So I added that, and then boom, you can see that popped up in a nice blue color. Again, you can dress them up, you can leave them black, however you want to go through and do it. So then as you can see, you do have, again, that nice radius there. Now, once you get your circle, if you like the colors, hey, that's fine. You can also go through and build these out with, internal circles from there. Just go ahead and back out, change your radius. Maybe you are working on something that works off of 100 air mile radius. Hey, that's not a problem. Just change that, add a new circle, and then, hit the enlarge so you can kind of see it, and then you can see that you can get your internal circle. Now, you are not limited. You can put as many radius as you want on this map. If you just kind of back out right now and say you've got some different areas, like let's just say you had a radius or a shop in Rapid City, no problem. Just come up here, click on Rapid City, and then it puts that circle there, and then you can fine tune it. You can move it over, do whatever you want once you get it there. If you're up here working in North Dakota, we'll just put a circle up here at Williston. Pretty big area. You can cover a lot of ground pretty quick up there. A lot of the drivers do stay within that 150 air mile radius. I know I'm throwing some 100 circles out there, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you how you can go through and you can add these circles. Now, what's really cool is printing these circles or getting them there to a little larger. If you click on this, the enlarge the map, and then you zoom in on it, and you get that into where it's kind of in full screen mode, get that positioned exactly where you want it, and then you can use your print screen feature, or if you have a capture image, you can come in here and you can start that, and you can position that image however you want so that you have it, and then hit capture on that or capture that image so that you can see it. Now, maybe you have some certain highways that you want to know specifically where that boundary is at. Hey, that's fine. Again, whoops, I just added a circle there. It's not a big deal. I can remove it. I just come up here and hit remove circle. Okay, that is the one kind of a quirky thing about this website is when you're in here and you're kind of moving along, it does tend to kind of start dropping circles when you're not ready, but they're super easy to remove. So like I said, you can zoom in on these. So if you need to know where an actual boundary is, maybe you're doing some training on that so people know specifically where that's at, you can zoom in and then of course take a close-up picture, of that area. So again, use your software, your screen capture, and just kind of come in and take of course a screenshot of that specific intersection so that drivers know, hey, if I cross this or I go any further, then I have to transition out of my daily time record into an actual logbook. So as you can see, using this map developer software is super, super cool. You can, like I said, you can get your maps all over, customize your colors, and it's super, super helpful for, your fleet management. So using map developers to kind of create your maps, this is kind of what it'll look like once you go through and create it. I set up the 3 radiuses that we had. The internal circle we're going to be working with is the 75 air mile radius. Now, I'm sure somebody is going to comment, say, hey, well, air mile radius and this and that. They're going to talk about, well, this isn't the exact radius. It may not be, but it's close. It's really close. It's going to get you there. And it's the map tools is the map developers. They're a mapping software company. They're putting the radiuses out there through their own software so you can use that. There are other ways you can do it. I've had Siri figure out, nautical miles. A nautical mile and an air mile by definition is the same, where statute miles is as the curvature of the earth, or as the path goes over the surface of the earth, I should say. Okay, so you can see I've got the internal circle that is going to be 75 air mile radius. That outer circle is 100 air mile radius. And then we've got that 150 air mile radius there, for that larger circle. So you can see some of those differences that you have. But again, have fun with it. Go through and use that site. Play with the shading. Play with the lines you can do. These lines that I put on here, we just did those through the PowerPoint software. So I just did it for demonstration to kind of highlight them out. It looks kind of like a dartboard up there. But again, just so you have the information. Now, I will include this link for that mapping software in the description below. So if you have any questions or anything like that, reach out to us. Make sure you comment below. And with that, thanks for checking out this video. Hope to catch you on the next one. Be safe out there and make sure that you like and subscribe. That would really help us out. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.